Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and I have today's freebie. This is Friday. This is Friday, October the 20th, and if I have to cough a lot, I'm sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. But you have 8 library cards, and then I gave you 2 additional sheets of paper that you can make the pockets out of. I was going to do the pockets for you, and I thought, they can do the pockets. That'll be fun for them. Now, I am going to back these with something just because I printed it on 28-pound paper. You could print it on cardstock if you wanted. I don't really like to print on cardstock because it's pretty rough on your printer. But we can always back these with something. And I like to cut them up to back them just because it saves a little bit of paper. So, how are you guys doing on this Friday? All my kids are gone. They're gone to, I think, Virginia and Tennessee is where they're singing this weekend. So, they're all gone. Aaron texted me last night and he said, Nene, I'll be leaving you in the morning, early in the morning. I said, oh, I'm going to miss you so much. He said, I'm going to miss you so much too. He texts me just about every day when they're gone. Because there's not very many days that goes by that I don't talk to that boy. He's a Nene's boy. And I'm glad. I'm just roughly cutting these out. And I could have done this before, but I wanted you to see the full sheet. It's the reason I didn't. Now, what are we going to back these with? I'm thinking I'm just going to grab a sheet of this paper. Don't even know what this is called anymore. I done forgot. But I'm going to back them on here. Like I said, I do like to trim off as much as I can, and that way I save that much paper. I know it's not much, but every little bit goes in my pile. It's not like I need it or anything. I'm just a hoarder. And I tried to change the color on these a little bit. They were real bright. And I changed the color on them a little bit because I wanted them to be more vintage looking. Because I plan on using these with my Christmas country Christmas digital. I'll get that out in a minute. Country Christmas digital. So I changed the color and kind of toned them down a little bit. Didn't like the bright. I didn't think it would go too well with my country Christmas. And my chair is squeaking today for some weird reason. I don't know why. So if you hear squeak, 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 that's me moving in my chair. I don't know why it's doing that today. Some days it doesn't squeak at all, and other days it's a constant. And today is one of those constants. And I've just got my little book over here to the side that I'm gluing on, just so that it doesn't blind you. And I probably won't make all of these on camera because you guys know I have made them before. So you guys basically know how they're made. But I'll just give you a rough idea of how to cut the pocket out and make it. Alright, so let's put these for a side. I'll do those off camera. I don't need to do those on the camera. Yeah, that feels nice and firm now, like that. So we'll cut these out. Now, you can cut them out with your trimmer. I enjoy cutting out things like this. I don't enjoy fussy cutting because it absolutely kills my hands. But this I enjoy because it's not very tedious, and I don't know, I just like the sound and the feel of those scissors. going through. Not. Some people stick everything back on the trimmer. I don't know. That's like the calculator to me. I enjoy adding things up in my head, and I enjoy adding things on paper. I'm old school accounting, but a lot of people, they can't do anything without grabbing the calculator. Not even 1 + 1, they grab the calculator. I think that spoilt us. My dad used to, and he never even finished school because he had to go to work when he was very young. But you could ask him, what is 7,490 times 23? And he would just think about it for a minute and then tell you the answer. I mean, he was just that smart in his head. There's no telling if he had got to finish school and go on to college. There's no telling what he could have done. But unfortunately, his mother passed away, and his dad left all the boys with her sister and ran off with another woman, and so he had to go to work. I think he was 14 when he quit school and went to work full time to help support the family. So, but I would come home with a math problem, and you know, I loved math, and I'd take every kind of math I could take. Come home with a trigonometry problem that he had never even heard of trigonometry, and I'd ask him, Dad, I'm going to read this problem to you. Can you help me with it? He'd say, okay. So I'd read it to him. He'd sit there and think for a minute. He'd rattle off the answer. I mean, it was just like, it was always up there in his head. Okay, so we got those cut out. Now I'm going to go ahead and ink around them. Right, then I'm going to start, I think, with this piece of paper. Now, I've got a little library pocket here. It's already made up. It is about the size that I need. Let's see. Yeah, it's the size that I need. Might make it just a tiny bit wider. But it's got a 1/2 inch folded over on each side. So what I think I'll do is I'm just going to measure roughly, and then I'll tell you the measurements. That way you won't have to measure. I'm going to cut it about right there. And then, depending on if you want the back of yours tall or short, I think I'm going to make the back of mine about this height. But I do want to fold it over since this paper is not as thick as I would like for it to be. So I'm going to cut the top about right there. Now, let me cut it, and then I'll tell you what size this is. Or maybe I'll just tear it. I think I'll just tear it, because we're going to fold the edges over anyway. So it's not going to matter. And you should have enough of this paper to make 4 pockets, I believe, if I calculated correctly. Now, I'm not even going to cut this white part off because I don't need to. Okay, I tore that first one wrong, so let's do this again. I don't know why I tore it wrong. I wasn't thinking. I was talking more than thinking. Can't believe that, can you? I shouldn't have tore the top off. So we're going to try this again. I'm just going to cut it down, or tear it down just a little bit. Now, let's see if this is going to work. Alright, this is 4 3/4, and then it is 8 1/2. So 4 3/4 by 8 1/2. Now, I want the front part to be right side up. So it's going to depend on which way you fold this. This is the right side up, this right here. So I'm going to need to tear off this little piece here. And this little top piece. Now, I could have printed these at full page, but I was printing those and I didn't want them to go off the page, so that's why I just stuck with it like it was. Now, we're going to have the little pocket like that. Has no writing on there. So you can take another little piece like this and put it on top of that if you want. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to cut these little edges off. Or you could put a piece of book page there or another piece of paper. Just whatever you would want to do. Alright, I'm going to go ahead. I've got just a little bit. This piece is just a little bit short. I'm going to go ahead and put my score line in this and fold it, and then we're going to see what we've got left. I think it's going to be okay, but I just want to do this first. So I am scoring at 1/2 inch on both sides. Well, I thought I did. 1/2 inch, Edith. 1/2, right there. For some reason that one didn't score at 1/2. I probably looked at the wrong number. What do you think? That would be me. So we're going to fold this over. Now I'm going to make sure my tags fit, or my library cards fit, before I go any further. So if I fold that up, is that going to go in there? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, this is going to be the top or the front, like that. That will be the back part. Okay, we'll fold this up about right. I'm going to fold it up about that much, and I'll tell you where I folded. This is folded at 2 3/4. This is our ruler. I had somebody ask me the other day about our ruler. This is the ruler that Benji designed. Now, when you get yours, it won't have these black numbers in there. They'll be clear, or they'll be white. And I just went in with a little magic marker and colored mine in. But as you can see, it's a double-sided ruler. It also has the 0 center in there. So just wanted, while I had that in my hand, I thought I better say it because I forget if I don't. Now we are going to cut this top part off because we don't need that. Just about forgot how to make library pockets. My mind's blank. You know what? You could just fold it over and glue it. Let me think. What do we want to do? This is going to fold around this way. That will be there, and I need to cut that top off. I thought I'd already cut that off, but I think I cut the other one off. And then I want to put this up here. I think I'm just going to fold it down and glue it. It's not going to matter one way or the other because we're going to cover it anyway. It's just going to make it a little bit stronger. And it saves me having to cut that line. And it gives you a finished edge as well. Now I am going to cut right here just so that that doesn't interfere with the fold up. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and put this down before I do anything else. I think I'm going to put it up just enough that I can fold it over toward the back. That way I'll have all my little edges covered up. And this may seem the long way around to make a library pocket, but it's just the way I'm doing it right now. Alright, that looks better, straighter. Okay, I am going to trim the sides off because we don't need extra on the sides. We've already got those folded over. Now, it didn't really leave me enough to fold, did I? I'm just going to cut it off. I didn't leave enough to fold. It's not a big deal. I ink around it anyway. Oh, I'm going to round these top corners. Now, it's not dry at all, so I don't know if it'll cut right. We shall see. No. It's okay. Now then, we'll give it a little ink. There we go. Now, this bottom part is going to fold around, but I'm thinking I want to reinforce this. I don't want to fold it down because I don't really have enough left there to fold it down, so I'm just going to put another paper here and reinforce it. That way it won't tear when you're putting your cards and things in and out. It's just an added extra protection. You could make your pocket a little bit shorter if you wanted to, and then you'd have room to fold over. But this is fine with me, just to put a little extra piece of paper in there. And now we will cut out a little punch. And then ink this up. There we go. Now that's a lot stronger there. I like that. And then these will fold around to the back. And there is our little library pocket. See how that works. Oh yeah, that works great. I like the height that we left it. I do. Now let's see what kind of embellishments that we want to put on this. Now I didn't leave out a lot of my Christmas embellishments. I've got some of these that I was working with last night. So let's see. There's something in here that we might want to go with. I ended up putting the Christmas decorations that I did have away. I like that, but I don't like all that white on it. You know, that's the only thing with Tim Holtz digitals. Digitals. Lord help Edith. Can't you talk today? That's the only thing about Tim Holtz little pieces here, is he does leave a lot of white around them, and I don't really particularly care for that, so I'm going to trim some of this off real quick. I mean, it can be trimmed, it's just that I wish they would cut it a little bit closer. And some people like the white, some people like that extra on there. I wouldn't mind it if I had white in the background, but I don't. Right, we have that trimmed down, and what I'm going to do now is just take my ink and I'm just going to tap it around through there to cover up all of that extra white. Now, if I had my green ink down, which I don't, I would do that with green, but I don't right now, and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to pull it down in midstream, but you guys could ink that up with green and you wouldn't even be able to tell that you put any ink on it. Now, let's see. Let's do maybe put that there, or a red one. Let's see if we got a red one. We do. No, oh, naughty or nice. That'd be a good one. Need to give that one to my grandkids. Now, I'm going to cut this because it's a little bit long for where I want to put it. So I'm just going to cut it. Going to make a little divot in the end to match the other end. Same thing here. Just a little divot. And then put my ink on there. You won't even be able to tell that I cut it. So don't be afraid to cut your little pieces, embellishments, and things up. Okay, let's do it like that. I like that. This has this little ephemera pack that I showed last night. Has some great pieces in it. And I will probably sit down, and some of them don't have white around them. I'll probably sit down and just go through and trim the white off, or a lot of the white off. Or just ink it up if you wanted to. If you have ink that matches the piece, just ink it up. Wouldn't even be able to tell there's white there. Alright, that there. And this one kind of that way. Oh, I like that. And then I like this Santa that's holding the little dolls, like saying, are you naughty or nice? You might get one of these if you're nice. So there is that one. I think that's super cute. We're going to do one more. And I think I'm going to use this Santa riding in the automobile there on this next one. And we'll use this other piece of paper. Okay, we have our other piece of paper cut down to size, I hope. And I'm just gonna, whoops, I'm gonna throw my scoreboard around is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a 1/2 inch score line on both sides. Let's see. Put it right there. That looks about half. I cut this paper just a little bit different than I did the other one, but that's okay. And some days I couldn't fold straight if my life depended on it. Right, and that's going to be the upside because we've got that vintage letter in the background. Yep, right there. Now I think on this one I'm going to fold down just a tiny bit at the top. That way I don't have to put another piece of paper on there to strengthen it. Now we'll fold it up about, what did I say, about 2 3/4 is what we folded that other one. Yep. 2 3/4. About right there. And then these I'm just going to clip right here. Whew, I thought I hadn't started back filming. Sorry about that. Had to look up real quick. Thought, oh Edith, you're talking to yourself again. I sent out the freebie today in the newsletter, and then I also showed links where we've got new Christmas products in, we've got new fall products in, we have new digitals in from all three of us girls. Melina, or M, me, E, and then little E, which is Alicia, my youngest. So you guys can check out your email for your newsletter. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'm going to put this piece of paper at the top, and I'm just going to use about half of it, I think, and tear it off about right there. And then this one we're going to try to now I'm not going to take it around the sides because I don't need to, so I'm just going to mark where I need to cut it off or tear it off or whatever. That'll work. So somebody on the live the other day asked about Brooklyn. How Brooklyn's doing. She is doing good. She has a new interest now. She has a friend that does barrel racing and has horses. And so she is all up in the air about horses right now. She's begging her daddy to get her one for Christmas. And of course he said, no. But she goes over to her friend's house and they ride horses, and she just has a big time. So she is Little Miss Social Butterfly right now. She's all over the place, riding horses and going to horse shows and all that kind of stuff. So she is in her little heaven. That little Brooklyn, she's a mess. She's always been one that her teachers even called her a little social butterfly. She goes from one interest to another. She's just like a little hopping bunny rabbit. She just hops from one thing to the other. She will get back to her crafting when it gets winter time and it's too cold to get outside and do things. But right now, they're just letting her enjoy herself on the horses. Letting her learn things. She's learning some things the hard way, and some things she loves, even though it's rough. She comes home and she's sore from riding all day. And this girl's parents are really, really good with them. They've had horses all of their kids' lives, so they're very protective and very good with them. So they take good care of her. They don't let her, they put her on a horse that's not real active, which is what she needs, because she's pretty active herself. She definitely does not need a horse that's active. Oh, me. But she's having fun, so that's what Brooklyn's doing at the moment. Who knows what she'll be doing, next month. Now these are just some more of the little pieces out of that ephemera pack. And I'm just going to cut them just like I did the other ones. It's getting hot in here. The sun's coming in and it's hot. I'm going to have to shed some clothes. Thank goodness nobody's here. No, I put on long pants this morning because it felt so cold in my bedroom, and it was kind of cool when I first got up, but now out in my shop we have lots and lots of windows, big windows on both sides, and so it gets warm, very warm when the sun comes up. There we go. There is another. So cool. They're very, very easy, and it's just something for you to play around with and put in your Christmas journals. Okay, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and we look forward to seeing what you do with your digitals. Make sure that you post them over on the Facebook page. That link is directly below. Just ask to join, and one of the admins will add you on there. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.